Hello everybody, my name is Farzad Haddad Derafshi and I am the responsible person for International Sales and Channel Development, Department of Logo Business Solutions. Today we'll be having a brief of an introduction into j-guar and our Java solutions. It will be divided into three parts. First part will be talking about products and technology. Second, we'll drill down into modules. And lastly, we'll talk about some powerful plugins that is available in our solutions. So let's start it all off with our products and technology. First of all, if you want to brief the whole products that we have in our ERP basket, we can look at it in this diagram. First of all, you can see that we have a scale going from left to right, from small scale to enterprise scale, and we have on the other side we have the levels going from first, second, up to down, third and fourth level. The horizontal lines are actually the size of the businesses that are going to be using the solutions, and each of the names that you can see, like Start, Go Plus, Tiger Enterprise, Jita, j-guar, these are the names of the solutions. Now, each solution is placed accordingly in the line which is related to the technology and which is listed from top to the bottom. First line is the Delphi line of products, second line is the Java ERP products, third line is the Java HR products and Delphi HR products, and thirdly it is mobile and electronic business solutions that we have, which is divided into many subcategories below. So as you can see, we have wide range of solutions, but what we will be focusing on through this presentation is going to be j-guar and Jita, which is Java line of solutions that we have. So moving on, first thing that we want to talk about technology is the scalability of our technology. Now, as you can see, this diagram is the simple diagram of the technology and the hardware used for our ERP solutions and any other ERP solution. It starts with an application server and a database server, and then you have some sort of a layer which is called intranet. It could be internet, and then you'll have the clients connecting through this layer to our servers. Now, this is very simple. Even with some of the solutions, some of the customers that we have, they are using even one server that can be used for both activities. It's a very SME solution. But as we grow a little bit more complicated, as the customers grow bigger, that means the number of users are enlarging and all that, then you will be having a little bit more complicated networks as this. Now, what is the benefit of scalability? The benefit is that when you start small, you don't want to invest humongous amounts of money into the hardware. So what you're going to do, you will be investing gradually, and you would want to minimize your risks. Now, a lot of companies know that IT is the largest cost center in the mother company's balance sheet. So IT departments are going to be the most strategic departments, and any wrong decisions are going to be very costly. So the IT head, also the companies, want to minimize the risks by gradual investment. So these solutions that we're offering, they're fully scalable, so you can start building on top of the solutions with adding modules and adding a number of users, and gradually you can also invest into your servers. The good thing about the current and present time is that we can use a lot of cloud servers like PaaS or platform as a service operators. So we can easily configure these, and we can easily rent these hardware as well. So this is very one of the good things that we can talk about our solutions. Now, we have used another advantage of the technology to benefit from in order to be independent of the boundaries of servers and applications and also operating systems. Now, first of all, as we explained in the picture before, we have an application server, we have the client, and we have the database server. The application server, because it's using the Java technology, it is server independent, so operating system independent to be more precise. That means you can have Windows, Linux, Unix, or even, it's not really practical, but you can have a Mac operating system to run your server. On the database server, you can have Microsoft SQL, you can have Oracle, MySQL, and these are the major databases that can be used for our ERP solutions, Java line of technologies. And since it's a web applet and a web-enabled technology, you can use any browser as depicted here with their icons to connect and run the system. When we talk about ERPs and being a regional provider, that means you gotta have some sort of technology to be able to give as much configurability and as much support to local requirements of each of the companies. Now, when we're talking about multi-companies, these companies can run from different geographical locations. They can have different languages, they can have different calendars, they will definitely have different currencies, as well as different legislations. So here we are supporting 12 interface languages, 7 legislations, 4 calendar types, and 3 layers of currencies, which we call them local currency, reporting currency, and transaction currency. Now, local currency is the currency that everything is reported to locally in that country. Reporting currency is something that we will be using to report in a second currency to the local currency. This is useful for multi-companies that have a headquarter that will be reported as USD, for example, or Euro. And transaction currency is vital again because you will be in trade and in commerce with a lot of countries that will be using different sorts of currencies. So you can buy in euros, pay in dollars, whatever. So this is all supported, which is very important. So why we mention this? Because it is assuring for the companies that they can grow gradually with this, and they can start geographically growing into other countries and starting their other companies in these locations with no difficulty. They don't have to invest on different solutions on those places. So as an example, I can tell you that one of our very good customers, that they started with one company in Dubai, and after 7 years, they're traders and commodities. They have their database and data center in Dubai, UAE, and they have other operating points in about 22 countries, ranging from Turkey, Kazakhstan, Brazil, US, Canada, Uzbekistan, Russia, even Iran and those places, and India as well, by the way. This is the capability of such a solution that can be accessed from anywhere with ease of use. Now, when we're talking about accessing from anywhere, we got to be talking about a web-based and a hosted solution. So you have a data center, you centrally manage this solution from one place, and the advantages is that you don't have to invest too much on IT because everything is managed centrally. This means that you can outsource to hosted data centers wherever you want, and this means that you can get your fees, one-time fees, into monthly subscription fees, or let's say rentals. That is very preferred these days in big organizations to reduce their IT costs. And also, when you have everything managed centrally, the advantage is that when you have thousands of users connecting, you cannot go and upgrade location by location. The old method of upgrades is pretty much dead now because it's too costly. You have to travel, you have to do connections, installations, downloads, and all that. So now you just do one upgrade in the central database and central server, and the next day everybody who connects to the system are connecting to a newer version with no trouble at all. The final note that we have to say is that you can have thin client hardware used at the user's side, which is again very useful and very cost efficient in all of the users. Now, this is pretty much about the technology that I wanted to talk about. The next thing, I want to drill down a little bit more into the modules of the application. Now, before going into the modules, we always talk about the business cycle through a classic diagram that connects the suppliers to the customers, or the customers to the suppliers through a chain. We call it supply chain. Now, before going there, I want to tell you a story, an application, which is a customer which is using this server and this software for their solutions. And I want to depict it for you by photos that have been taken by us during the project. And then I will model it and talk about it and try to visualize it through the solution and the software itself. Now, we're talking about a sales team. We're talking about the sales part of the things. So it all starts from morning meetings where people go in and start talking about their daily targets. They talk about what they have to do, if they have any campaigns or promotions that is going to be applied on that day. They talk about how much they've done through their targets, how much they've achieved, if there are any problems or not. And they discuss all of these things, and then they start hitting the field. So the field is pretty difficult. They have to start going into sales, taking orders, and talk about their talk to the customers, and they start taking the safety level orders of the customers or whatever they want into their handheld and tablets. And once the orders are ready inside the system, they have to be shipped. So when it comes to the shipping and the delivery part of the business, we have all the delivery trucks waiting for the goods to be shipped. Now, the goods to be shipped, as I think you've seen the logos here, the brand we're talking about is Algida, and we're talking about ice cream. So it all looks nice and sunny outside, but behind the curtains, we need to prepare the ice cream in very harsh and cold environment where people are working in -25 degrees Celsius temperatures, and they need to be gunning the goods, the boxes, the items. It can range from containers down to little bits and pieces of ice creams. It is a difficult job, but people are doing it very seamlessly and very efficient. So the picking lists are generated, the loading is done, and the distribution is made. And finally, there's the sweet part of collection of the cash, and where they collect their cash, they collect and close their day, and they close their cycle of their business. So what we depicted in the last few photos is actually the full ERP system in terms of commerce. Now, as you could see, we have the customers on the right hand side, and they are connected to the suppliers through the supply chain that we're talking about. Here we have modules which are depicting the sales and delivery. We have modules for supply. We have modules for material management, asset management, maintenance, quality assurance, and all that. So at the end of the day, all of it goes into general ledger, so the company can see how they're going from a global perspective. So this is the whole cycle, and the example that I showed you is the commercial part of the ERP that we are supporting, and I will be explaining to you the modules related to this business cycle. Before going there, finally, I want to talk about the application, just to give you a bit of a glimpse of the application. First of all, as we said, it's a web-based application, so you open through a browser. Any browser can do. It can be hosted locally or it can be hosted globally, wherever you want. It is a multilingual application, as we explained, so you can click on the language bar within the application and you can choose, for example, Arabic, and the whole thing will change from right to left in different languages. Your interface, your data, everything will be changed to the selected language. So I'm going back to our previous language of English and looking at the modules. On the left hand side, we have the menus and the modules we call. As you can see, there are two modules opened in a drill down fashion, material management and, as an example, maintenance management. As you can see, the modules are very similar to each other. They have the same structure in terms of looks, and they are classified in a proper data classification. So the users, when they learn one module or one department of the ERP, they can transfer within the company to another department. What this gives to them is that they can easily go and move to the next department because everything looks alike. So they just need to learn the business processes related to that department. They don't have to learn the application related to that department, and all the modules are interconnected and they're all run centrally from one place. Another important thing about the ERP is multi-company ERP, so you can have up to 999 companies within one database or multi-databases. This depends on your configuration. So you can switch between companies from the application if you have the access to. And finally, you can have some easy reports, dashboards from within the application that you can see. The reporting tools is very easy to use. This is just the graphs that you can see from here. Also, you can go into the each of the module. As you can see, the reports part of the modules down here, and you can create different reports for different scenarios. The users can modify their own templates if they have access to it, and also they can add fields from everywhere they want. And also you can have multi-language reporting, which you can have both for the forms in different languages as well as data if they have been defined in different languages. So this is one of the big advantages of multi-language, multi-company usage of the system. So this is pretty much enough with the technology, with the interface of the application, and we move on to the modules itself. So this is the first glance of the first application that we have. It is called Jita. The J comes from the Java solution, and we use the cats family because they are fast, they are agile, and we like them very much within the country as well. So Jita is the first solution, and as you can see, the modules are material management, purchasing management, sales management, general ledger, finance management, asset management, foreign trade, and human resources, payroll, loan and credit management, which is embedded within the application. Now, this is the core of the system. We cannot do any work without any of these modules. It will not be integrated as one system. So when we are talking about j-guar, it is the addition of the blacklisted modules to the application. So we're a little bit more sophisticated modules will be listed, more users, bigger enterprises will be coming down here. So demand management, production management, budget management, cost accounting, project management, tender management, vacation, and training management are listed. Now, moving on, as you know, everything starts with sales, and as a salesperson, I would like to start from the sales management module itself. Now, no matter what you sell, a salesman is a salesman. So it starts from a tea selling in a very small bakkal, in a very small shop. It can go all the way down to stocks selling. It is all about selling. And selling means that you gotta be able to manage your customer relations better by lowering your costs and automating your sales processes. Why you want to do all of this? You want to do this to be able to increase your customer satisfaction, and you want to be able to generate more revenue. Now, some of the highlights of sales management can be summarized as sales management can manage all transactions related to customer very fast and rapidly through a single browser. It can handle transactions of both mother company and its subsidiaries. You can have multiple shipment addresses and multiple invoice addresses defined per account and selected accordingly. And most importantly, you can track potential customer records, foster customer portfolio, and control their financial exposure through the seamless integration and through the related modules itself. Now, sales management is all about pricing, it's all about sales, it's all about campaigning, discounts, and more. So, first of all, you need to be able to take sales offers more efficiently. You got to be able to calculate the commissions for your sales representatives very easily. And these can get very complicated by time. You can have commissions being calculated, being formulated, which are pages long. You can set up graded sales prices depending on order quantity, conditional prices. You can schedule materials and service price changes automatically. You can apply automatic payment and collection plans to the orders and invoices, which is very important. You can apply automatic discounts, expenses, promotions, campaigns. You can do all of these things flexibly through very advanced formulas as well. Just to give you a bit of a glance of what it looks like and how powerful it is that promotion and campaign module, you can start creating information, you can start creating promotions which can be very complex and very parametric. So you can have a lot of conditions or a lot of fields and parameters, and then you can start writing codes inside the variables, conditions, and you can have multiple lines of a campaign definition. So this is a field that you can see that a user can start coding the campaign into the system, but very user-friendly parameters. So you can say that ARAP credit is more than some value. The total quantity of goods that are going to be assigned to that ARAP in main units is 1 for every 10. So this is an example, and you can be very creative. You can create promotions from easy buy one get one free promotion all the way down to complicated weight related or credit or balance related things, or if you buy in cash without check, you can get this promotion, or if you buy this much in kilograms, you can take 2 pieces of this promotion kind of definition. So this is very powerful, it is very flexible, and you can do the IT department, the advanced sales management department of the companies can easily create their campaigns and discounts, which the system will manage from then onwards. That's why you can easily enter your orders within the tablet, and the system will take care of it. If there needs to be a surcharge applied, it will apply. If there needs to be a discount applied, it will apply. You don't have to worry about it. So salespeople can sell anything, but realistically we want them to sell items or services. When we're talking about items, we're talking about the warehouse management. So the material management or the warehouse management, we can track and manage materials and stocks. We can improve stock operation quality and reduce inventory costs, which is very, very much preferred by the companies with the costs that are rising in the inventory management. So that's why you're having layers and levels of inventory. Try to manage it as efficient as possible. You can take high variety of products in a hierarchical structure using material classes. You can monitor consignments received from suppliers and consignments that are issued to customers very easily. This is also very important in big distribution companies and sales companies. You can easily substitute alternative materials for materials within slips of transactions, or for example in orders, if you don't have sufficient enough amount of one item, the system can put or place an alternative material, like the Google says, "Did you mean?" Now, material management also applies ABC analysis methods to reduce inventory costs. It tracks material by barcodes, lot numbers, and even serial numbers as per its requirements. Various costing methods is available, such as LIFO, FIFO, average of inputs, and so much more. And you can track 2 costing models for each item inside the company itself. And this is the UFRS requirements that we have. It supports management's decisions with detailed inventory and costing reports, which you can create your sales profits, your sales margins accordingly in a lot of details per item, per department, per warehouse. You can access to historical inventory levels, and you can get the cost and the amounts levels as per as your warehouse, as per as the dates. So as an example, I will be showing you the cycle itself that we have for material management. Now, as you can see, material management is interacting with production control, project management, and also cost accounting, and it also interacts with sales and purchasing departments accordingly. The most important thing is that the period opening will be started and the related slips entering into the system, their approval levels inside the cycle. And at the end, when we want to do the costing at the end of the period, we have operations to run the costing according to all the transactions entered. And when it's all done and everything is approved, we can close the periods for improved performances. And you can take your material value reports, material summary reports, and inventory reports accordingly. Now, one of the cycles again, which is needed to fulfill the items inside the inventory is tender and demand management. Demand management and tender management can be very useful by authorizing users who will be able to approve and fulfill demands. They have relationships between the demands and all the other materials, all the other modules related inside the ERP, like sales order, material transactions. You can have purchase orders, as I explained, it's fully integrated. Also, you can create demands by generating material transactions through purchase orders, through purchase demands and tenders and projects. So it's all, as I said, fully integrated with all the modules. You can fulfill a demand by alternative materials, and you can view the statuses of the demands. You can see how much of each demand being fulfilled, how much it's being cancelled, the total quantities, etc., etc. And the beautiful thing about it is centrally managed, so you have a procurement department that will collect all the demands coming from different places inside the company into a pool and then fulfill accordingly. Now, demand and tender management cycles, as you can see, first of all, the users from different departments are entering their requirements. These are gathered or approved by responsible people depending on the access rights, and the demand process comes into line. So the procurement department collects all of them into the pool and starts procuring them. As you can see, it is integrated again seamlessly to all the other modules. It can go through tenders, it can go and fulfill from a warehouse, it can produce it through project management, it can produce it through production management, or it can acquire it through purchasing management through a demand or an order. So this is again the beauty of tender management, demand management, I'm sorry. Tender management is also a sub level of demand management, so you can hold both purchase and sales tenders, and this is the summary of the cycle. The good thing about it is you can keep all the tender documents, both cycles, from suppliers or from the customers itself, and you can create and control your suppliers through contracts that is available again through the related modules. And if there are financial penalties in terms of delays, you can apply them very easily. Purchasing management is the next module in line. It handles entirely the purchasing cycle, which starts from demanding. That can come from material, that can come from the sub modules itself, and at the end of the day you'll be procuring materials or services itself. As you can see, this is the whole cycle: demand into an order management, into receiving the goods and materials, then you will be having your financial transactions, and at the end of the day you'll end up with performance monitoring and evaluation of the suppliers. Now, highlights of purchasing management is as follows. First, you can define conditional purchasing prices. This is very important to be able to manage the history data of your suppliers, so you know that things are not getting out of control. You can have automatic surcharge and discount calculations via advanced formulas as per as the sales management module. You can have, again, alternative material usage. We can apply to this module as well. You can do some batch operations such as updating the prices, the VAT changes, the dates, the procurements, lead times, lag times. This is all applicable. Schedules, materials, and service pricing changes. This is again very important that you can automate these processes within the system. You can have purchase shipments which are scheduled to the further dates. This is very important for procurement planning, that you know each supplier's lead and lag times, and you can do your planning accordingly. At the end of the day, you will have a lot of notifiers for the suppliers if they have any delayed orders or if there's anything pending, and you can have a lot of reminders being automated inside the system to be solved accordingly. Now, purchasing management is again it is to evaluate and analyze suppliers according to their certain criteria, such as their prices, their quality, delivery performances, etc. So you need data for this, and when you have the data within the system can help you in evaluation, and you can select the best suppliers. You can create also purchase orders which are automatically generated by minimum, maximum, or safety inventory levels. Again, this is important to keep your cost efficiency within your warehouse. You don't want to have too much goods, and you don't want to have too little to be able to look bad in front of your customers in terms of deliveries. So the system can help keep your warehouse up to date and keep your warehouse organized. Again, the cycle of purchasing management, as you can see, it collects data from demand management, sales management, project management, maintenance management, production planning. All of this information is added and gathered inside the purchasing management module. And then it can go through its cycles of approvals through tender processes or purchase agreements or orders. You can have electronic order exchange between your suppliers if they have the capabilities. So this is going to increase the seamlessness of the system, especially in electronic commerce, which is very important to do B2B or C2C systems. It will go through order placing, approvals of the orders, and then you will have the receivings, the invoicing, and the financials and general ledger part of it. As with any other module, the return process is also there to use. You can do and manage your returns efficiently with more control on what is collected and what is returned in terms of cost, in terms of serial or lot numbers. So it's very, very important to be used. Next in line is foreign trade. Foreign trade is also important to be able to keep your import and export documents, to be able to be integrated to free trade zones. You need to have some container tracking capabilities in a documentation mode. You need to have some financials and LC management to be able to manage the LCs with each of the, let's say, import or export files and the documents that you have. And most importantly is the cost calculation according to the foreign trade. Now, cost calculation is also very important. Here is an example of what it looks like. We call it cost distribution slips. Imagine you have a service, which is any service inside the company, customs clearance service, or some other sort of service that the cost needs to be distributed on top of the materials or the items that are being imported. So you pull it all down through some filters, and you can select which of the items, which of the transactions to be applied to, and you can distribute it according to their material prices, material quantity, according to the weight of the or volume of the orders that are coming in. So you can distribute your services according different parameters, and you can see the distribution rates, you can see the distribution amounts, and you can modify them accordingly. So you can take profit and loss reports according to your sales, and you can see at what margin you should be selling each item to get the required revenue and profit. Sorry. So after the import and the logistics of everything is done, we will move into the finance department. The finance department is very important. It will be talking about the accounts payable and receivable. The definitions part, you can create automatic checks, and you can create risk limits and alerts for each of the customers or each of the suppliers that you have. There's definitely financial exposure information that you need to be adjusting, you need to take into consideration. Defining multiple shipment addresses as well as invoice addresses per accounts of each customer. You can have payment and collection plans, as we explained previously, which is very important in sales management and application of fines and controlling your cash flow. You can also have customer reminders on their debts, on their payables that you need to collect. And we can have, again, ARAP reminder announcements from the system itself. Multi-currency system, I pointed out at the beginning, it's very important because, again, when you're talking about trade and global trade, you're going to be talking about more than one currency. And when you're talking about more than one currency, you got to be able to buy, for example, you want to sell something in dollars, but the customer will be paying you a dollar note plus some change in euros and a check in, let's say, rupees. So when this happens, you got to be able to have a smart system to manage all of these complicated collections and apply the exchange rate difference calculations automatically. You cannot do this yourself because if you have 2 customers, it's fine. But when you have 90,000 customers being managed centrally, It is difficult. You got to be able to take reports in transaction reporting currencies or local currencies. This is also supported by this. Debit and credit tracking is also very important because whenever you issue invoices, whether it's a purchase invoice you register inside the system or sales invoice where you enter and issue to the customer, you're expecting some sort of a financial transaction. And this has a date, a due date. Without tracking the debit and credit properly, you'll be in a lot of trouble, especially with the scale of customers and scales of debits and credit tracking that we're talking about. You can automatically do debt closing according to LIFO, FIFO methods. So you can have the system manage the closing and debt tracking for you. This is again an advantage to streamline some operations in finance. Financial transactions that we talk about, you can have all the transactions available through safe deposits and banks, checks and promissory notes. You can have collateral, letter of guarantee. You can track financial investments as well inside the system. And with a lot of credit card and debit card transaction tracking, it can be done. Credit card tracking is again difficult because of the interest rates, because of the number of installments that can be done. So you can easily manage all of these inside the system, and you can see how much money and how much cash is pending outside and waiting. So the workflow and the business diagram related to the finance department is the integration between human resources management, where you'll be having payroll data coming in through pay slips. You might have requests for advance payments from the personnel. All of these will be connected and collected in finance data. You will have sales and purchase information coming from the related departments itself, and it is all going to be collected and processed, whether it's an account receivable, it's an account payable, when to pay, what to do, and when it's done, the system closes the information and closes the debt tracking and the credit tracking inside. And when all is done, it will be passed down to general ledger for bookkeeping. We come to general ledger. General ledger is the heart of the system itself. So all the data coming from all the modules around are collected in one place. Very important to be able to have the exchange rates of multi-companies to be managed in GL properly. You can connect to different portals and you can download daily exchange rates inside the system tables. The system tables are keeping every transaction and every currency information and exchange rate on daily levels according to four currencies, currency types itself. You can have different, you can have as much currencies that is available globally, and you can have four different rates for each currency, as you can see everywhere. The purchase rate, the sales rate, it could be official and gray market purchase rate as an example, where in each country something else applies. And as we said, it can be downloaded from the portals itself. Financial tables is again the output of GL, and you will be able to get consolidated financial tables. You can create, customize all these financial tables according to your company's or your group company's requirements. There's no limit on how many different sorts of financial tables you can create. You can have multiple years of information collected and saved and kept for further use and reporting and references. You will have authorizational features. For example, people who are authorized for certain modules will only be able to use that information and view the information and report it accordingly. And the other important thing about the GL is the way you can drill down into multiple accounts through different account codes. You can have chart of accounts defined as per each country's requirements. You can have dot separators, you can have dash separators, you can have multi-level hierarchies. So it is all configurable according to the requirements of that country. Now, you can also view the financial status of different perspectives so you can create different strategic decisions for the management. This is very important. Inside the system, we can define 3 different charts of accounts for each company. This is very important because we want to have, let's say, the local legislations gives us one standard chart of account for that country or for that local legislation requirements. We can have a secondary chart of account defined for group company standards. So you can have a parallel chart of account to the first one, which can be used for reporting purposes. And thirdly, you can have a consolidated chart of account where you can support the holding structure. So this is important because you can have automated posting to GL through the system. That means every transaction that is entered inside the system can create a draft JV journal voucher, and this needs an approval from the related manager, like the control unit will control it and approve it. But before the approval, you can take draft statement of accounts, you can take draft trial balances, which is very important before controlling, and before posting to GL all the transactions. And you can have cross transactions, we call them, or intercompany or intra-group transactions, where you will be issuing a sales invoice to your sister company and they need to log an automatic purchase invoice inside. If you make a collection from that company, they have to issue a draft payment order also. So this again helps a lot when you have multiple companies defined in one group, and it will help a lot in terms of financial consolidation and controls because it's automating a lot of transactions. You can track a lot of details through analysis dimensions. You can have parallel units. Let's say you wanna review your cost centers, your profit centers according to your geographical or divisions. You can also have any unlimited number of analysis dimensions to track your journal vouchers. This is very important again in general ledger global reporting. I will show you an example of how the general ledger is integrated to the systems. As you can see, you can have a chart of account defined inside the system with hierarchical structure, which we are using dot separators in this example. And you can have 2 descriptions or 2 different titles, as you can see in the browser. This is an Arabic and an English chart of account for use of their own requirements. You can have balances and balances in RC, which is called reporting currency, and a balance in transaction currency. So you can have 3 currencies in the same browser. So I can click on one account and I can see the transactions related to this account. So for further use, I can see all these JVs that are listed and are approved and posted, and I can see where they're coming as well. So I can review one of these JVs and I can drill down into each account and the details of this JV, which was dated at this date and with this reference number or whatever. And at the end, I can check one account and look at the source transaction of that account, and it will take me to the retail sales invoice of that single line of transaction. So this is very important to be able to show the seamless integration and how you can control and audit your transactions, drilling down from chart of account all the way down to your related transaction and related module. So the review of the cycle and the processes related to general ledger is, as you can see, the information coming down from sales management modules, foreign trade, human resources, all the modules that have financial effect in the system will gather their transactions. All of these transactions are generated automatically. You don't have to create a JV. The system, after you define your GL connection groups, that means where each let's say debit or credit figure will hit in the GL. When you define these templates inside the system can create for you draft transactions. So the accounting guys, what they have to do is they don't have to do data entry, they have to do data control. They open their GL periods and they collect all the information, they can report them, they can check them and do batch posting to GL through a lot of parameters. You can have departments, dates, transactions, modules, whatever you want, you can filter them out and accordingly control. And if everything passes your control, you can approve your GL slips and you can close your periods, and you can take your financial tables, ledgers and lists, account statuses, and drill down through archived information itself. So again, this is very, very very important processes which are automated inside the system. Now this wraps up our basics of these things to log this administrative information. So self-service is for the people to self-service themselves with demand slips and anything else that can be applicable to the organization. As an example, you can log into the system itself and with their own users and passwords, and they can go in and see their dashboard. They can see how many vacation days they have left, if they have any requests, if they have any demand slips that they have done. They can see their payroll and previous pay slips if they need to print it out and give it to a bank or I don't know, whatever they want to do. It is all available from central unit and it can be managed easily from the system. And if they want to log, let's say, an annual request, annual vacation leave request, they can log it inside the system. It will go to the related manager. The manager will have to review it, and they will be approving the leave, and they can move on from there. Now, after having all this data inside the system, we got to be able to report it somehow. There is so many ways to report that we don't want to go into those details. We have created two tools which is available. One is very basic reporting for very small organizations on a platform which everybody knows. You collect the data through this solution which is called Excellent, and Excellent passes everything into Microsoft Excel. So imagine you have Microsoft Excel as a front end and a layer which connects you through to the database for dynamic reporting. You can create whatever you want on Excel. It could be a balance sheet, it could be sales analysis, and you can refresh your data accordingly through different sorts of dashboards. As you can see, you can log into Excel, and since Excel is being used by everybody, pretty much every financial accountant or every salesperson inside the organization, they can create so many different dynamic reports with different looks, different colors, and you can have graphs, you can have filters, pivots. With ever-moving capabilities of Microsoft Excel, you can create different sorts of analysis for basic usage. Even you can create geographical geomap reports as well through Power Pivot, which is available on Microsoft Excel. If you want a little bit more complicated tools, then we're going to have to talk about business intelligence and BI tools. Now, BI is a completely different line of products. We don't want to get into that, but we want to benefit from it. So how we benefit from it is we use our own dashboards, which are configurable, which you can create whatever you want through the levels that are already connected and the fields and the tables that are already connected for you. You can generate your dashboards and tools so you can access them 24/7 from wherever you want. with the technology that is available, the HTML5 technology, that can be accessed through a mobile device to any web browser or applet or application itself. We are powering our tools for BI on Click as well as Jaspersoft, and we have two tools, two options, which is ClickSense and Jasper's, we call it Logo Mind Informer and Logo Mind Insight. So all the data models are already done and ready for you because you're using the ERP. All you need to do is install and then move on and start and analyze. There is also data access control which is available, so the users can be managed with their access rights, so everybody cannot see everything. Multi-component dashboards give you the capability to drag and drop and do whatever you want, from a simple bar chart or pivot table all the way down to a geomap report. You can drill down into multiple analysis levels. You can go into one item, filter it out, and check the related and connected and interconnected items. It's 100% Java based and fully customizable. With ERP and with sales, we also have a CRM application which is available through web, as well as its application on mobile devices on Android and on iOS systems. So it's using the MVC architecture. It's fully scalable and customizable through its own platform of customizations. It is multilingual, so you can again use it in different countries with different languages. But at the end of the day, it's CRM and sales. It's pretty much the same all over the place. And that wraps it up for us. Thank you for listening. I hope that it was fruitful for you. And like I said, if you have any questions or if you have any further requirements, you can feel free to contact us, and please do check out the videos which are available on this platform. Thank you and bye.